Vegan cyclist. Dude, I know my hair is crazy. I'm working through it. It's a thing, it's a phase. I'm trying to grow it out, but I'm in a really awkward stage with it. Sorry. So the Yosemite cycling camp that I put on was absolutely phenomenal. It could not have gone better. I really believe it. It was amazing. We're gonna do it again late October, early May, every year. 2 shots every year. It's gonna be phenomenal. I really wanna tell this story right. I wanna tell everything about it. I've got a lot of footage to sift through. Haven't really had time to do it, and one of the campers, Mark, who looked super steezy every day, like had the freshest gear always, he threw together a review. He reviewed his experience. I am so grateful for him to do this because I want to share this with you, and he gave me permission to, instead of him putting it on his channel, that I could share it with you on my channel. So I cannot take any credit for this awesome edit that he put together. This is all him, and this is his thoughts, which I thought was super duper cool to kind of have someone that's obviously not me, because my whole review would be like, awesome, the whole time, right? So this is his take on it. I hope you enjoy it. Check him out. The guy, Mark, dude, he's legit, man. My full story of this will be coming soon, and again, we will be doing this early October, again this year, and then every year, late May. What the hell? Early October. You gotta put it on your calendar. Hope you enjoy. Thanks, Mark, for doing this.
Hey, Mark here. This is a video to review the Yosemite cycling camp that Tyler Pierce, aka the Vegan Cyclist, put on back in May 18th through May 21st. It's a 4-day camp, and if I had to sum it all up in one simple sentence, it would be, it was amazing. Beautiful views, awesome people. Tyler is amazing, so accommodating, such a nice guy. I told him it was actually kind of weird to hear his voice in person because I'm so used to just seeing it off my phone. The way Tyler is in his videos is the same Tyler that you get in person, which is cool. Sometimes YouTubers put on different personalities when they're in front of a camera, and they're different in person. So, but Tyler is the same dude. So, in this video, we'll go through each day, all of the detail. All in all, it was a really good experience, and here it is. Day one for me started with departing from Phoenix. I had a bike in Phoenix that I wanted to use for this camp, and it's an American flight from Phoenix to Fresno. So I got a window seat, so that was fun. Had this Biscoff cookie wafer thing. I don't know, it was vegan. It was pretty good. As we were getting into Fresno, I saw Yosemite and realized that we're going to be cycling in that, so that was awesome. At Fresno baggage claim, I met Brian, and he was also carrying a bike bag, and asked if he wanted to share a lift to the house that we'll be staying at for the next 4 days, and so we went and did that. This is just a quick tour of my room. which is the queen bedroom by myself. It's pretty small, but you know, that's all it needed to be, just a place to sleep. This is like the bottom porch area. Nobody really hung out here. Everybody was upstairs for the majority. If you were downstairs, you were in your room somewhere or just going to bed or whatever. So this is just a quick look around the corner and briefly outside. Tyler put together these sort of welcoming bags, which were really neat. They had a printout with our names on them, some descriptions of what we'd be doing on each day, some additional coupons, some merch from some of his sponsors. And yeah, I wasn't even really expecting a bag. But as far as the contents, yeah, there was coupons, package of fig bars, Yosemite camp shirts, a maple water drink, and a couple of ritual products. This is their chamois cream. Upon further inspection, beeswax. And they have a chapstick as well, but the ingredients for that, more beeswax.
Well, I was thinking of going vegan.
I'm a level 5 vegan. I won't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Wow.
Other than that, the bags were fine. Before we started our ride, Tyler put together a broccoli and bomb.com chili, as he put it. And so yeah, after eating that, all of us got ready, and we're just kind of hanging out, digesting, and all of us are really excited to start the day. Before starting though, Tyler and Chaz put on a little clinic, just to do a little laps around the neighborhood, just so that we're getting used to tight quarters and just getting used to us all riding together. So we would go slow in sort of a two-man formation and bump shoulders and stuff. After a little bit of that, we went and met the LEL guys, Jordan and Fats, down by the pines, and we went back to the house just to show them where the house was and where we were going. Afterwards, we went around Bass Lake, which was beautiful. At a certain point, we came to a stop, and I think they were cutting a tree in the road or something weird like that. We ended up waiting for like 10 or 15 minutes. After that cleared, we continued to go on the ride, and all was fine. We got to the base of the Teaford Saddle climb, and Tyler here is just saying the first one, or whoever beats Chaz gets $50. Chaz is the one on the very left. So up ahead is Tyler, this is Chaz and Jordan. And these guys were pretty much just kind of powerhouses, you know, like Cat 1, 2, and 3. I tried staying with them. I was with them for about a mile or so, maybe 3/4 of a mile. And inches turned into feet, and feet turned into, until I couldn't see them anymore. So here I'm just kind of rolling with James and Daryl. At the top of Teaford Saddle is where we kind of touched base with everyone. And then we descended back into Bass Lake. And that was pretty much day one. Pretty short, but some climbing in there. So it kind of looks like a little jalapeno, I guess, the shape there. But we did our practice laps, went and grabbed the LEL guys, and just started making our way around Bass Lake, going down Road 221, and then up Teaford Saddle Road, up at the top, and then descended back down to Bass Lake, and then returned back home. That's pretty much day one. Day two, the big day where we go into Yosemite. We were supposed to catch what's called a YART bus, and that was supposed to take us into Yosemite. We apparently missed it. We ended up taking a group photo anyways. Nice looking chaps. And we ended up driving ourselves there. So we all packed in cars. Some people actually drove to this camp. So I was riding with Daryl. We got stuck in some traffic, construction again, and we were thinking that our morning was really not going well. That ended up clearing up, and we got into Wawona, which is where we unpacked the bikes, and we left in 3 different groups. So Group A, B, and C. Tyler was leaving with Group A. I was in Group B. In Group B, we set, at least at first, was a pretty nice pace. And then it got kind of a little bit more intense. It's a little bit more intense than it should have been, since we're spending all day in the saddle. Anyways, we got up to the fork in the road where you can go into Yosemite Valley or up Glacier Point Road, and this is us just kind of composing ourselves and getting ready to descend into the valley. Descending into the valley, here I'm just following James. I think up the road is Brian, and then Dustin joined us as well. Yeah, some pretty nice scenery, very fast, 30, 40 miles an hour. And yeah, this is the tunnel that is actually pretty darn scary once you're in it. I'm only showing a little bit here, but sounds sort of echo off the sides, and there's danger, that's for sure. Your eyes need a bit to adjust, but when the tunnel clears, it's gorgeous. So this is us just kind of settling in, and this is Yosemite Valley Lookout. Since the snow was melting, the waterfalls were on point for sure. Nice looking group photo. Second group photo of us looking away. Descending into the valley, again, still from that lookout, us as a group, we got kind of split up. So it's separated between Brian, Dustin, Jordan, and myself. Since there's traffic, it split up the larger group. So it ended up being just us four and the SAG. So being split up from the group was actually, may seem kind of weird, but it was actually awesome because Jordan, Brian, Dustin, and myself were kind of pacelining through the valley. We also had a professional photographer, his name's Jason, he's over there in the SAG, kind of taking pictures of everyone. This is Jordan. This is myself and Brian and Dustin. And another one of Brian and Dustin. We got some good shots in that sequence. And what's really cool about the valley is that when you have like a clearing of the trees, you get to see the mountainous stuff around you and waterfalls. And so every corner is kind of like, oh my God, look at that. And then there's another clearing, and then it's like, oh my God, look at that. And there's another clearing, and it's like, oh my God, look at that. So here we're actually pretty close to where we stopped for lunch. We ended up finding a place maybe about a half mile up from where we are now. Yeah, some really nice views. It wasn't until maybe 10 minutes later that the rest of the folks showed up, except one person. One person got kind of lost, and so Tyler had to backtrack for him.
And then let me know how far. So I'm gonna have someone send you a...
Here we are just after lunch, just kind of sitting around, wondering where Tyler and the other guy was. And yeah, everybody's just lounging and cleaning up. Some of us actually took off back up to the lookout. So we made our way back up there. Tyler and the other guy joined us, and we did a few pictures. So this one's of Tyler. And here's another one of Tyler. So at this point, we're in the parking lot, and it's too dangerous to go up through the tunnel because that's the only way in, only way out. So the LEL van was taking maybe about 4 or 5 people at a time with our bikes through the tunnel. And the other side of the tunnel is where we would ascend back up to the fork in the road. This is us just kind of, again, just resting because we did a little bit of climbing getting out of the valley, and we're going to start making our way up Glacier Point Road. And this is the start of that climb. Very, you know, this climb, it's not consistent. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's rolling. This is Roy. And there's the SAG, and this is Robert. More traffic. And this is Mike and Joe. These guys can descend like beasts. Just making our way up Glacier Point Road. You can kind of see the snow on the side of the road getting taller and taller and taller. The roads up here are kind of rough. I think James on the descent got a pinch flat On the way up, rolling by Greg and Daryl, and you could see some snow melting on the road. I think Daryl kind of let up a little bit here. He was kind of cramping in his legs. He was basically like 100 yards away from cresting that climb, and the rest was kind of descending. Now, descending right here, there are curves getting down to the parking lot, and you can't really brake in the corners here because your wheels are wet. It's pretty dangerous stuff, so you got to take it easy around those corners. But I think one person did not take it easy and kind of slid out, and you kind of see his elbow there. And he got a little bit of scratches on his knee and scratches on his elbow. And at first it wasn't really cold up here, but after admiring the half dome that you see right there, it started to get kind of cold, like incrementally colder. So people started putting on their vests and long sleeve everything. This is us kind of rolling out. So we're going up Glacier Point Road now a little bit, and then a big descent. And so this is us kind of single file. We attempted to get some pictures that kind of came out pretty good. Descending, there was over, I think, 30 or 40 minutes of descending. So day 2, big day. So again, we started in Wawona, got to the fork in the road, made our way down to Yosemite Valley, had lunch, and made our way up Glacier Point Road, admired Half Dome, and then descended all the way back to where we started in Wawona. And that was day 2. Towards the end of the night, I don't know about everybody else, but I was kind of beat. But we did have a seminar from Tony Wolf. He is Tyler's coach. Very informative, very educated guy. He basically knew all of the answers to everyone's questions. He is on point for sure. Day 3. In the morning, everyone just eating breakfast, waking up, talking about yesterday, about power and how Chaz is awesome. This is us outside. This is Tyler just telling us how on this route everyone hates cyclists. So I think we got honked at like 3 or 4 times. And yeah, we just kind of rolled out as a group. At first there was a lot of descending, and then I thought, well, you know, if there's a lot of descending now, then towards the end of the day, we're gonna, you know, have to climb that. That was Fats on the side. He was in the SAG yesterday in Yosemite, did an awesome job, and he has fresh legs for today. So we started the climb, and this is Brian up here. I just kind of caught up with him and rolled with him for a little bit. And so yeah, that's a pic of us. So on this climb, I think it was part of a grizzly loop, if I remember correctly. And it was kind of rolling, so up and down throughout it. And this is us at our first rest stop. You can see Andres on the bike again. He just has some patches on his elbow and his knee, I think his shin. And this is Tony, again, on point with the answers. Always willing to answer a question if you have it. Here I'm just kind of rolling with Greg. We rolled in to have lunch, and this is where we were meeting at Mammoth Lookout. That was Tony. And yeah, there was a few guys, including the SAG, already kind of setting up, laying out lunch, everything. Just grabbing down on rice, beans, anything you want. It's all vegan. So, and then the lookout. Group photo, awesome. And here everyone's just kind of getting ready to descend back down. It was snowed in at the very top of this climb, otherwise it would be a 30-minute descent all the way back to the house, but we basically had to turn around and do what we just went through. So a bunch of rolling hills again, and just going back where we came. So we're back at that first rest stop again. It's just later in the day, and everyone's just kind of cooling down. It is kind of warm. So leaving the rest stop, we left in, I think, 2 different groups. So I was a part of the A group, so with Tyler, Fats, James, Daryl, Dustin, and Brian. Here we are just kind of rolling and then descending, cresting on hills. And yeah, just trying to get home as soon as possible. There was a masseuse on this night, so she put in some work. I think she was there until like 10 or maybe 11 p.m. On that night. So this is us just kind of making our way back home. So this is us climbing, having lunch, that awesome view, and then making our way back. And yeah, that was pretty much day 3. So after dinner, lounging around, I think some people had some beers and stuff, and we were watching the Giro on TV. And then we had a Q&A with Tony. Again, you could ask him whatever you want. There were some topics that were race specific. Not everyone was, you know, a racer inside the room, but it was still benefiting everyone. Just hearing the information, it was awesome. Day 4. So this is supposed to be a chill ride day. I think this is us just right after eating breakfast. I went back to my room after this and started watching some YouTube videos and commenting on stuff, and I was actually, everyone left without me, which is my own fault because I went back downstairs. But I think they were like a half a mile down the road. Tyler actually came back to get me. But yeah, here everyone is just, we're just taking it super easy today. Tyler promised like minimal climbing. But there was one big climb at the beginning. It's not too steep or anything, but it was pretty consistent. This is me following, I think James. Yeah, that was James. We're just kind of gathering ourselves here. And yeah, Tyler is just explaining on what where we're going to be going next. We ended up doing a little bit more climbing. And then slowly the pavement started to go into rocks and dirt. And then pretty much just all dirt. So we're headed to the area where we're going to be eating lunch, which is, you know, forest, like fire roads. We got to this pasture, which was really cool. But it was just cool to see a pasture, I mean, and a barn too. Pretty random. It's almost like Bob Ross painted it, you know?
I think that makes a pretty nice little painting. I think we'll call that one finished, in fact. So from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless. We'll see you next time.
So when we got here, it was lunchtime. So it was time to dig into our usual rice, avocados, beans, and bananas, teriyaki sauce. And everybody's just hanging out here in the shade, in the makeshift shade. We did cross over the fence to take pictures by the barn, do group photos and all that stuff. But yeah, it was pretty relaxing just hanging out. We backtracked a little bit and then started to go over rougher terrain. The terrain would switch from dirt to rocks to heavy rocks to loose dirt, and everyone was pretty much just on their road bikes here. There were a few people that expected this and who brought bikes specifically for riding in dirt, but it worked out fine. It was fun. So we got to past the first dirt section here, and it was paved, and it just seemed like a nice place to stop. So we're just talking about what we're going to be doing next. There was some people that wanted to climb more, so we decided to do that. But yeah, we ascended up until we saw snow, and at a certain point there was just so much stuff in the road that we decided to turn around and descend from where we were at. So Tyler here is just explaining that when we descend, there's this one tricky portion of the road where it can throw your hands off the handlebars. He actually went first and stood exactly where that point was so we wouldn't get bumped or run into that. And then we descended. So this is day 4. It kind of looks like Gil from the Finding Nemo. We did our climb. We reached that pasture and the barn. We had lunch, worked through some dirt roads, some fire roads, had the option of going back home or going up. I think the majority of everyone went up until a certain point, and then we descended all the way back down to the house. And boom, that's day 4. That night we had dinner at the Pines. We had a few vegan options. that they made especially for our group, because we had a larger group. Beers, just chilling. We took pictures after this. It was a nice sunset on Bass Lake. I mean, Tyler has picked an excellent place to live. It's just so beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the 4 days at the Yosemite Cycling Camp. It was amazing. Super scenic views, beautiful rides, awesome people, vegan food. You can't ask for much more. For anyone that wants to go to the next Yosemite Cycling Camp, Tyler is going to be doing more of these. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Go ahead and hit like below if you do. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
If I got locked up, said this till quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally? If I went back to a hoopty for my band, would you poof and disappear like some of my friends? If I was hit and I was hurt, would you be by my side?